happening? It's JD. I'm in Tennessee. Figured I got owe you guys an update video. So we've been up here probably 2 or 3 times since the last video. And sorry for my neglect to do anything. It's just sometimes you get so busy. Last thing you want to do is take your camera out and stop. But lots happened, and there's still a lot to do. So I'm trying to jog my memory back. Since the last video at this point, I've gotten in touch with a local electrician, a local plumber. So the plumbing at the house we had taken care of had some issues, and also had some electrical issues. Half the house didn't work. It turned out to be, I guess it's a modular home, so the electric, I guess, connects in the middle, and there was a spot where it had come undone and somebody had tried to rig it up before, the previous owner, somewhere along the line. So half the lights and half the outlets didn't work, but that's all working now, which is nice. The last trip, or the last video, was made in October. So we've made a couple weekend trips here, trying to get some things done. And then the wife and I have spent 2 weeks. We came up January 1st and spent a week here, a little over a week. When I say a week, it's usually a 9-10 day trip. And then we're sitting here at the beginning of March. It's March 2nd as we speak, and we'll be leaving tomorrow. So the last trip up in January, we had an issue. So I had bought a wood chipper, and figured there's enough trees here, I'm gonna cut them up. And we had done a couple patches with wood chips in the driveway, and even when it rained, it seemed to give you traction. Like, it actually helped, but it's very labor intensive. I didn't buy a huge commercial wood chipper. I mean, it'll take like a 5-6 inch tree or limb. So you're cutting down a bunch of limbs, trees, this, that, the other thing, and then trying to chip it in the driveway for traction, and it worked, but it just got too labor intensive. And then the last time we left, I'm going to turn the camera around. So we got stuck between the bridge and this incline here coming up the road. And that's about when I had enough. It took me I had a trailer on, 24-foot enclosed. And it took me about 8 tries and 4 low, trying to take 8 different paths to get up. And finally got up. But it left a mess here. So even when we came back in, we came in on a rainy morning, last Friday morning, and I couldn't get about where that trailer is right there. That's about where my truck was when I stopped, and I dropped the trailer there, and it was just a muddy mess. So this trip we had some rocks, and I'm going to jump around between the last trip, this trip and some of the other trips, but we got some rocks down, and we got it going halfway up the driveway. So we got up to about that far with gravel, and then I spoon fed some gravel up there with the skid steer, because that was an issue too. You'd come down that driveway right there and it would just slide forward, and that was one of the first places that we learned you can get stuck really easy. So right now I just got to spread, and it's real heavy and thick in some spots, so I'm probably going to end up respreading it next trip, just to kind of see if I can stretch the stone going up. Plus there's actually so much gravel down that going uphill you actually spin on the gravel. So I'm gonna let it rain for a couple weeks here until we come back, and then it settles down. I'll see if I can't take a bucket and just kind of rake it up this way. So what we did was we went with this about 2-inch average gravel right there. But underneath that, you can see there's some bigger rocks off to the side. We used some bigger rocks as a base, and then we pounded them in with the dozer. In fact, up at the other end of the driveway, those bigger rocks are still there. I haven't put gravel there yet. And the plan was that today, which isn't normal, but through all these contacts that I'm meeting up here, it's kind of nice. But we found a guy has an excavating business, and he can bring in loads of stone. Real sweet guy, and he was going to try, because it rained all day yesterday, and the plan was to bring some of the heavy gravel. He dropped this on Thursday, and we spread it. And then Friday morning, he was going to bring heavier gravel to go up to the track, to the parking area of the track. And we were going to slam that, I was going to take the dozer and just pound it into the ground. I figured a little rain would help make that happen. And then it just rained all day yesterday, and he had called the place where he gets this rock, and as of yesterday, they were going to let us get a couple loads today, but then because it had rained all night, it just wasn't possible. So the next trip, we're going to go the rest of the way up. But this is a big luxury right here. You don't know. It's just been horrible as far as going up and down this drive, and especially after some rain. So I figured, it's going to be open, it's going to be a track, it's going to get traffic. This needs to be taken care of first. Got to take care of that infrastructure stuff. So let's take a ride to the top of the hill. I'll leave the camera go. It's going to be a little noisy from the quad. It's actually a pretty good system because now it jogs my memory. So, on our January trip, and it was a cold January trip, but the electrician had come and done the work and got in touch with the inspector to get power to the track building. Fort Loudon Electric, which is the local electric company here, they had sent out some guys to check it all out. Came down, said it should be pretty easy to put the meter back in, except the right-of-way needed to be cleared. And they said once I have it cleared, they'll maintain it. But because it's kind of like starting from scratch gig, we had an issue. So if you remember from previous videos, or if you want to check out the previous videos, this drive here had trees going up. You see that one lone telephone pole in the middle? There are basically trees all along that thing, level with that. Like the tree, that telephone pole was in the middle of those trees. So when they came and told me that, they told me on a Thursday afternoon, and I was slated to leave. Let's see, I got to think now. I think we left on Monday. I forget when we left. I think it was midweek. But they told me on a Thursday, and my goal was to get the power turned on Monday. I think Monday was a holiday. I think we left Monday night. But, so basically from Thursday afternoon, and I asked them, I'm like, I'm not a lumberjack. I'm like, suppose I hit the wires? And they're like, well, they're dead. If you hit them, we'll fix them. Don't worry about it. So that kind of gave me carte blanche. So my brother-in-law ended up coming Saturday morning. So Saturday and Sunday, he helped me. I started on Thursday afternoon and basically cleared that right away in those days with a couple of chainsaws. And then there's a couple strategically needed to be placed trees, so we bought some chain and a snatch line, and basically put pressure on them with the skid steer so they would fall a certain way. But we got that all cleared up. That's if you remember from the other videos, it was that hallway going up, that driveway or that hallway going up was a lot closer. The trees were, so that's opened up a lot. This over here, you can see how messy it is. That path basically goes right to the track. So right now, that was my plan, is to dump some of that rock in there too. It is a swamp over there. In fact, further down, just this morning, I got the skid steer stuck. I didn't know that was a possibility. I was pulling some trees out. And yes, it is possible to get a skid steer stuck. It doesn't really take that much talent, just the right mushy ground. You can see this drive right here is all sloppy, and that's from the day of rain we got yesterday. Had another incident where I had picked my wife up a tractor. She wanted to buy a tractor, so went ahead and got her a tractor. And as we were pulling it up, basically, I made it, probably 20 feet past this intersection, or this fork in the road here, and it would just spin. So I backed up, and the trailer ended up right here. And then actually the trailer ended up backing up one direction and the truck the other. And then when I tried to pull back up, I was basically getting the tires stuck right in the center of that fork. Ended up using a skid steer and a chain and pulled everything up. She drove the truck and I just pulled everything up. So I was fortunate that we got that up. So I've gotten a lot of things stuck this week. It's very, very hard to, when you want to work and the ground is like this and it's wet and it's slick like peanut butter. So let's go further up. So you can see it's just right now it's a mess. I've got a lot of stuff pulled up. We had a tree pile, if you remember from the other videos. We actually burned it this past week, and that's a new pile that we put on top of the other pile. So that pile is actually bigger. Most of that pile came from over here. I did that this week. So this was all pine trees over here, and now I've kind of got it cleared out, except I got a pile right there. I've got to kind of scoop and move the other pile. So what I might do is the next trip up, if that's dry enough, burn that down and then start stacking stuff on top until I don't need to anymore, and then burn the pile completely down and spread it. But yeah, so I went ahead and cleared all that this week. We actually have another about 1.5 acres cleared up top where the peewee track is going to go. We have that all cleared. It's just lots of piles of trees. All right, on a quick note, Killdozer is back working. So we ended up, one of the trips in between last October and, let's see, I gotta think, I can't even remember. But one of the trips that we made, I want to say it was probably in December. We came up for a weekend. One of the missions was to pull the hydrostatic cooler out of this. We did. We took it back to Florida. Found someone in Lakeland, Florida, that actually recores them. Finding a new one, there was no timeline. Nobody could guarantee me I could get one in a certain amount of time. And it was expensive. It was almost between $4,300 and $4,500. And this didn't cost me that much. This was like $28. So, I mean, $2,800 is a lot, but compared to $43 or $45, and quite frankly, they cut the whole core out of it and re-cored it, put the tanks on top of a new core and everything. It looks brand new, even painted the thing. So Dozer's working. We also fixed, I had a crack on the top of the radiator. My buddy Gray had come up from North Carolina. He had come up for a couple days and helped me get this working. So he helped me reinstall the cooler, and then he actually brazed the radiator neck back on. And now, as far as that's concerned, it stays cool. It doesn't leak hydrostatic fluid, and it doesn't, the radiator doesn't start steaming. So perfect. That's the newest toy. It's called the Intimidator. Basically, it's a stump bucket that the yellow bucket on the bottom actually spreads apart like a pair of scissors with teeth. And I have some video of that I'll probably incorporate into some of this, but that's what that thing is. And probably the coolest attachment I've ever bought, and definitely most bang for the buck. I mean, that thing kicks butt and takes names. So it's really, really pretty cool. So while we're here, we'll go ahead and walk to the track. We had burned the other pile, and it was a very disappointing burn. But since then, whatever little bit had burned, it wasn't as good as this one up here. So I had restacked some more trees that we had piled up around the track on top of it. So give you a view of the track. Probably since the last video, this is probably a huge improvement. So you can see there's a lot of trees down right here. You can see lines on the track, which is kind of cool. The whole guardrail area up there, that hill, they're all just laying over. They need to be gathered up and piled up. And then what's going to be left is that over there, and that's where all the huge washouts are. That's where the uphill is. That's where the track is, goes uphill. So right now it's just sketchy, and it's really hard to get in there with any machine right now when it's wet. So we're gonna have to wait for a drier day. I'm hoping this Intimidator thing will be able to surgically get to some stuff that might be too sketchy to take a big dozer over. So track's coming along. The other huge luxury now is that this building here, we do have power on the second floor. I told them not to hook up the first. I'm sorry. We have power on the first floor. I told them not to hook up the second floor because I want to gut it. So there's no point in putting any electrical up there or worrying about it. The other nice thing about it this week, we just had plumbing. All the plumbing's been redone in the bathrooms. Now that we're just talking pipes and stuff like that, so we're not talking about new sinks and toilets yet and stuff like that. They still need to be remodeled or whatnot, but there is updated running water to both bathrooms, and we have water up here in general, which is a luxury because we have 2 hose bibs. We didn't have any water up here, so it was kind of, we were nervous about starting fires up here, that kind of thing. I did give, it doesn't look like it because the driveway's so muddy, and from point A to point B where I washed the skid steer, that's driveway mud on there. But this thing was just, it was in deep need of a bath. So it finally got hosed off, and then those was going to be next. Not this week, but at least we have, the means to, that all the utilities are working up here now so we can wash these things. So, I'll give you a view over here because I'm sure from here, that area is going to look a little more open, a little more different. And I'll take you up there and show you the areas that we cleared up there. Alright, so there is a gate over there. This is the first video. This is where I started trying to clear first. And now it's basically all yanked up. You can see on the fence line there, I actually ended up ripping out the wire. It was like a snow fence poles with baling wire on them. I'm going to eliminate that anyway. But some of the trees were going in between there anyway, so they're going to go. Obviously, the deck at the water tower needs to be replaced. I was thinking about making a wash station over there for bikes and quads and stuff like that. Just because the towers are there, so I got to figure that out. But this area here, pretty much cleared out. Big burn pile there, 2 more up there. So a lot of this was dozer. We had started plucking stuff out with like the stump bucket and the skid steer and whatnot, and tractors and grapples, and then the dozer basically really put the nail in the coffin on this area. So really handy having that thing. So this is further up. Give you perspective. There's the water towers, and I'm not good with property as far as eyeing it. There's about a good 1.5 acres that we cleared over here. And again, this is probably where the pee-wee track is gonna go. All right, and the thoughts for a pee-wee track is I'd like to put an oval up here, with like a track in the middle, so we can kind of do both. I know, I'm trying to trying to make it so everybody has something to do here. And I mean, there's guys who are, I mean, not just into, mini bikes or pit bikes but I know in Florida, I have some friends and whatnot who race like mini bike on oval tracks, which is a big thing. They even have like 24-hour enduro races with them, which is pretty cool. So what I'd like to do is have like kind of like an oval with a track in the middle of it. That maybe the turn of the oval incorporates into the motocross track. You know what I mean? So, but definitely for kids, I want it kid friendly. And then for like, messing around like pit bike racing and stuff like that. Maybe some buggy stuff, practice track for buggies or whatever. But, you know, um, but we have basically all of it cleared. So we just have to get it all smoothed out and go from there. And then the main track is right on the other side of that pole right there. So that's pretty much it. I'm trying to think. I mean, I can't tell you how much has happened. It's been a lot in the last couple of weeks or a couple months, but it's it's been a lot of work. So Amber had made a post on a local, like a Tennessee vintage off-road something group, and I wasn't intending on making any posts like that, only because I knew the first question would be is when are you opening? And the truth of the matter is I don't have a time frame yet. I want everything to be pretty perfect, and it takes a lot of effort. And I mean, this place was left to go to hell. And I mean, when I bought it, the track was a forest. And even after we get all the trees cleared, there's some washouts in there that's going to take a lot of work and a lot of probably material to fill in and patch up and make right again. Not only that, just the trees and the washouts in general, just everything's just left. It was let go. You figure the last time this track was open was probably 2015. And I think that was when it was going downhill anyway, because apparently whoever owned it last as a track went into foreclosure, and they basically sold off everything that wasn't bolted down. Stargates, equipment. I even think they sold 20 acres to the church next door. So, this place has been neglected. So my goal is to bring it back and build something here that will be awesome. It was basically a tribute to my father. My father had no love for power sports or anything like that, but what I learned from being in business with him for the many years that we were is if you're going to do something, you do it right and make it so the people love it and appreciate it and make it a landmark. And that's my goal with this. I want a landmark here, and basically, I want this to be something that people talk about, that people love, and not so much to be, oh well, it's better than to be better than what was previously here to show the previous owners up. This place has history and love to it. The Facebook post that Amber made showed me that. I would say it went viral. I mean, I've never made a post that got so much as far as likes and shares and comments and whatnot. So obviously it shows me that this place had a history with the people who used to come here, and that it has a lot of love. And basically what I want to do is a tribute to my father and a tribute to what this place used to be and those previous owners who had it and did something with it that made all these local people love it. So that's the goal, and it's just going to take a lot of work. I did not buy a motocross track. I bought a forest that had a track in there at one point. So I don't know as far as an opening date or anything. I know that I will be working hard within the next year um, to get something, to get there. That's the end goal, is to open. So, just to answer the questions, because that I knew that would be a big topic, at least on that Facebook post, and that was the most asked question is when we had a lot of offers for help, and I appreciate that, and I might be reaching out to folks soon enough. It's just that at this point, everything is so spontaneous when I come up here. Um, so I would have to organize that. Um, so that's it. I'm getting down because I know tomorrow morning I have to leave, and it always sucks. But I do love it here. I love it a lot. Just some news. Uh, First MBX race of the season is going to be on St. Patty's Day weekend, and that will be at Mesa MX as part of the I4MX series. Um, so we're basically, when I get back, we got 2 weeks to go, and got to get it together for the first race. So I'm just so distracted right now with this place that I mean, it's not a bad distraction, but but in the same time, I want to keep MBX going and keep it strong because I don't want it to fail in Florida because I'm moving to Tennessee. I want there to be something in Florida, so the goal is to have MBX races. People at this track versus people in Florida give everybody opportunity to race new people, meet new people, and hang out and whatnot. So, I got a lot of forks in the fire. So, that being said, I'm going to go ahead and take off. It's been a long day already, and it's only in the afternoon. I need to pack up and get everything situated so I can leave and get it shut down, locked down. So if you need parts, go to if you need parts, go to gotbuggies.com. And if you have any questions or comments, leave them in the comment section and smash that like button. And until next time, guys, I'll talk to you later. JD's out.
Yep.